have you ever noticed someone who never shares their photos online? No selfies, no party shots, there is no online trace of their lives. In a world where attention is currency, these people almost fade into the background. But here's the truth. Their silence isn't emptiness. It's intentional. Psychology reveals that people who choose not to post photos often have deeper reasons rooted in confidence, mindfulness, and emotional strength. Let's break down the real psychology behind people who don't post their photos on social media. Number 1. Selective self-disclosure. Some people don't crave visibility, they crave privacy. In psychology, this is called selective self-disclosure, the conscious choice to control how much of yourself the world gets to see. They understand something powerful. Once you share your image, you invite interpretation. Every post becomes open for analysis, judgment, and sometimes misunderstanding. For these individuals, mystery is a form of protection, not from people, but from unnecessary noise. They believe that not everything meaningful needs to be made public. Their silence online isn't insecurity, it's confidence in knowing that not everyone deserves access to your story. The less people know, the less they can control your peace. In a world desperate to be understood, they find strength in being a little unreadable, and that calm is their quiet superpower.
Number 2, their self-worth isn't for sale. We live in a time where validation is visible, where likes, hearts, and shares act as a scoreboard for self-esteem. But people who don't post often have stepped off that game board entirely. They don't measure their worth through engagement. Psychologists would say they possess intrinsic self-esteem, a form of confidence built from inner values rather than outer reactions. These people know who they are without needing others to echo it back. They're not chasing applause because they've already accepted themselves. They understand that online attention is fleeting, but self-acceptance is lasting. And when you reach that level of inner peace, posting for approval feels unnecessary. Their mindset is simple. If I'm happy, I don't need to prove it. That's not arrogance, that's maturity. Because real confidence whispers, it doesn't need to perform.
Number 3. They live more than they document. Ever notice how people who post the least often have the richest lives offline? That's no coincidence. Psychologists link this to a trait called mindful presence, the ability to be completely absorbed in the moment instead of observing it through a screen. While others are pausing to get the perfect angle, these individuals are too busy living the moment. They don't interrupt joy to document it. They'd rather laugh with friends than post about laughter, rather feel the sunset than filter it. Because they know memories hit different when they're lived, not just captured. Their focus is on experience, not exposure. They understand that true fulfillment doesn't come from sharing moments, but from fully inhabiting them. And in a world obsessed with showing life, there's something rare and beautiful about people who choose to simply live it.
Number 4. Authenticity over performance. Social media often turns into a digital stage, a place where people perform the best versions of themselves, edit their realities, and showcase highlight reels. But those who don't post often step away from that performance entirely. They're driven by authenticity, not appearance. For them, the line between real life and online life isn't blurred, it's boldly drawn. They don't want to curate a version of themselves that's polished for approval. They want to stay grounded in who they truly are. These people tend to crave genuine human connection, the kind that happens in real conversations, eye contact, and unfiltered moments. They'd rather share a cup of coffee than a caption. They'd rather be understood deeply by a few than admired superficially by many. Their choice not to post isn't a rejection of connection, it's a return to what connection is supposed to be: real, raw, and human.
Number 5. Emotional self-regulation. Every post online opens a door,
to opinions, comments, comparisons, and expectations. For some, that constant exposure is draining. People who rarely post often have a strong sense of emotional boundaries. They know that not all feedback is worth their energy. By keeping their lives private, they protect their peace. They don't invite the pressure to perform or maintain a certain image. They're not playing the endless game of what will people think, because they've learned to value mental quiet. This mindset often connects to what psychologists call emotional self-regulation, the ability to control how much outside noise affects your inner stability. They know peace is precious and attention can be expensive, so they choose to stay low profile, not because they don't care, but because they care deeply about their focus, their well-being, and their sanity. They understand that sometimes the most powerful move is not to post, not to explain, and not to engage. It's to stay still and centered while the world scrolls by.
So next time you come across someone who never posts their photos online, don't assume they're shy, distant, or detached. Maybe they're just grounded, more connected to reality than to their reflection. They don't need the internet to validate their existence. They already feel seen by the only person that truly matters, themselves. That's not invisibility, that's inner freedom. And if you love exploring the minds behind human behavior, the real psychology beneath what we post and what we hide, hit subscribe. Because here, we don't just watch people online, we decode their minds.